You've got a very special guest back in the studio with us. She's no stranger to FYI.
My guest today is Christy St. Angel, who's going to talk about a play coming soon in Perth. Thank you, Christy, for being here today.
Thanks for inviting me, Robbie.
This play is work of the Perth Community Choir and the studio theater. Can you tell us about both of these places?
So Studio Theatre is both the physical space in Perth, and it's a group that produces plays. And then Perth Community Choir, we don't actually have a home base. We usually perform out of PDCI. And Perth Community Choir's mandate is to perform family-friendly shows that whole families can be a part of and that you can bring your families to. But there are also a lot of great musicals out there that aren't necessarily family friendly that we've been interested in producing. And studio theater tends to appeal to an older audience and doesn't lean in as much into the family friendly piece. So a few years ago we started talking to them about trying to work together, because they like bringing musicals to their stage, but we've got the background and experience in that area, and then they have the space and audience that usually gets a little bit of more of an adult audience than we generally look for. So we thought that working together would be a great opportunity. So we're trying this out for the first time, and we hope it'll be the beginning of a lot of different projects in the future.
You do many plays together. Like last November, you played a big part in that play. Can you tell us about this?
So in the fall production of Elf that we did this year, I got to play Emily, which is the Buddy's stepmom, so married to Buddy's dad, and it was a really, really fun role to get to play. I also did technical direction for the show, so I designed and worked on building the set and worked with the lighting team and all of that end of the show too.
Your play is coming soon. It's called Blood Brothers. What do you do as a director?
So my role with Blood Brothers, when I'm directing, I work with our producer, and the two of us make a game plan for what we want the show to look like. My job is to come up with kind of a concept for the show, how I want the stage to look, all of those pieces, and how to bring all of that together. I do all of the auditions and cast the show with my musical director and my choral director. And then my job is to get all the actors where they need to be, block the show, work with actors on performances. There's a lot of work with accents in this show because it is set in Liverpool, so that's a very specific and a pretty challenging accent. So all of those pieces, and then my job is to make everything that is on the stage come together for our audience.
What is the play Blood Brothers about?
The play Blood Brothers it's about a lot of different things. It's about a woman who finds out she lives in Liverpool in a time when there's a lot of poverty. She's working as a housekeeper. She already has 7 children, and she finds out that she's pregnant again, and she's just figured out how she'll be able to keep her family together and keep going. Her husband has left her, and then she finds out she's having twins. And it turns out that the woman she works for has always wanted a child but can't have children, and offers to take one of the babies. So the play follows these 2 brothers as they grow up and cross paths over time, and just looks at how their lives play out differently when one of them is raised in poverty and one of them is raised in a more upper class family. So the play is very much about class and about opportunity that comes out of that. When I introduced it to the cast, I talked about the fact that I really see Liverpool as being almost a third character in the show. because of what was going on in that place during that time. And it takes place over the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. So it's watching how this all plays out with these characters. It's definitely a more tragic play in a lot of ways, but it also has a lot of beautiful moments of lightness and joy, and you see how much love there is in these characters, even though they don't have a lot of their lives. It's a hard one to describe. It's a beautiful play. I saw it 30 years ago in London, and it just blew me away. I was stunned by it, and most people who have seen it, it's hard to describe the story. There's a lot going on, but it's just a beautiful show.
How many people are in this play?
So I have a cast of 13, which works out very, very nicely because the show is told, there's a narrator who kind of tells the story, and the cast is reenacting something that's already happening, and I'm leaning into the feel of it as a Greek chorus. And I loved the number 13 when I was playing it out and thinking about it, and that turns out to be exactly the number in a Greek chorus. So it worked out very well with the angle we're taking on the show. And then we also have our orchestra, and I feel like I'm going to mess this up. I believe our orchestra is 11 that we have, and they're going to be on stage behind the cast. So it's a pretty big group, especially for studio theater. It's not a huge space.
What are the dates for the play?
So the play is going to be running for 2 weekends at the end of March. We open on March 19th, and we'll be running that weekend. We have shows on the Thursday and Friday evenings, and then matinees on the Saturday and Sunday, and again on the following weekend.
How do you get the tickets?
The tickets for this show are available through Tickets Please, so www.ticketsplease.ca. There's also links on the Perth Community Choir website and on the Studio Theatre website.
You have been in many plays. How long have you been doing this?
I've pretty much been doing this my entire life. Growing up in Toronto, I have an uncle who's a professional actor and director and writer. And when he worked in Toronto, he lived with my mom, my brother, and I off and on. So theater has always been part of my life. And the records we had in my house were all musicals growing up. So making up plays was something I did from the time I was a little kid. I was in choirs at school as soon as I was old enough, and in middle school, as soon as plays were an option, I was in them, and I performed all through high school as well. So this has been 48 years in the making.
Do you have a favorite play that you were in?
That's a really, really hard question. I probably, if I had to pick only one, last year I got to perform in the complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged, which is a show I've wanted to do forever. And I had 2 amazing people that I got to do the show with, and we've joked around that if anybody wanted us to do it again, we'd do it in a heartbeat. So if I had to pick one, right now, that's probably it, but it always changes depending on what's going on.
You are a teacher at St. Francis de Sales too. How long have you been a teacher?
This is my 24th year teaching.
You have directed many plays there too. Last year was James and the Giant Peach. What is this year's play?
This year we are doing Newsies Junior. So that is the Broadway Junior version of the stage musical Newsies, which is based on the earlier movie Newsies.
What are the dates for this play?
So that play is going to be happening the first weekend in May. So May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and we'll be doing 4 shows over those days.
We are looking forward to the play you are in, be sure to get the tickets early. What are the dates for the Brothers again?
So we are opening March break week for anybody who's got kids in school and knows that date. So that will be the Thursday, March 19th will be our opening of the show, and we're running for 2 weekends.
Thank you for coming in here so early so you can get to school on time.
Well, thank you for inviting me again. It's always nice to chat with you, Robbie.
Well, we look forward to seeing Blood Brothers. Thank you very much for coming here. We got to let you get to school on time. And Robbie, thank you for coming in again today and bringing a special guest with you.
You're very welcome there, Kathy.